Hello, everyone. Being 5 o'clock, I'll call the regular meeting of Council, May 25th, 5 o'clock, open. And I'll ask everyone to rise and the city clerk to say the prayer.
O God, let us each in our own way ask your wisdom and guidance in our deliberations. Help us to incorporate into all our decisions those values which will enable us to fulfill our mission, to act as responsible stewards, and to respect and value the cultural and spiritual tradition of the citizens of the City of Prince Albert. For this we pray. Amen.
Thank you. I would like to also now acknowledge that we're on Treaty 6 land and the home of the Métis. And I'll move to number 3, approval of the agenda. Councillor Zepp.
I move that the agenda for this meeting be approved as presented and that the presentations, delegations, and speakers listed on the agenda be heard when called forward by the Mayor.
Thank you. Seconder? Councillor Kilmer.
Thank you. I'll second that.
Thank you. I'll prompt the question. Questions now open. And carried. Thank you. Presentations, we have none. Declaration of conflict of interest, you all know what that is. If you have a conflict, you let the city clerk know what item it is and then excuse yourself once the item arrives. Number 6, adoption of the minutes. Councillor Miller.
Thank you, Mayor Dion. That the minutes of the council regular meeting held April 24th, 2023 be taken, read, and adopted.
Seconder. Councillor Edwards.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Questions now open. And carried. Thank you. Notice the proclamations. I had 4. A 7.1 Community Powwow Day, May 26, 2023. 7.2 Canadian Royal Purple Week, May 14th to the 20th. 7.3 Naturopathic Medical Week, May 14th to the 20th, 2003. And 7.4 Prince Albert Pride Week, May 28th to June 4th, 2023. Public hearings, we have none. Delegations, we have none. Communications, we have none. So we'll start off with number 11, reports of administration and committees. 11.1, annual notice, consumer report. Councillor Kilmer.
Thank you. I'll move that the 2022 annual notice to consumers report for the period of January 1st, 2022 to December 31st, 2022 be approved. And I do have a question afterwards.
Thank you. Seconder, Councillor Miller.
I'll second Mayor Dion.
Thank you. Councillor Kilmer.
Thank you. When I was reading this report, I thought that perhaps there might be an opportunity for the manager to provide council with a couple of highlights of what the report entails. Is that possible to have the manager give us a couple of points from the consumer report?
Okay, which manager?
The manager for the water treatment plant, please.
Andy? Okay. Just give me a minute. I have to add the podium. You're up, sir.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the question, Councillor Kilmer. So yeah, in regards to the annual notice to consumers report, it's a very technical report by nature for the Water Security Agency. So I did try to put some highlights in the report for council to see this year. So what it does summarize is that the water treatment plant performed 100% immaculate through the year, making sure that all of the tests were well above meeting the requirements for the regulatory body, for the Canadian Drinking Water Quality Guidelines. I tried to highlight some of the data that we routinely analyze, which is over 22,000 points a day. And sometimes there's more than 1 million lines of data that gets analyzed by us, putting it into databases, looking at trends, averages, that kind of thing. So the way we do operate at the plant is we have the operators do all the daily testing and they put all the records in, but then we have management review those as well. So we have several layers of redundancy to make sure that we are not letting anything slip through the cracks, make sure we're being transparent, and making sure that we are providing 100% safe potable water.
And so just to summarize, that this report shows that we are providing above and beyond what the permit requires, and I just...
Yes,
that
that is
correct?
very correct. That
Thank
is
you.
very correct. We don't ever want to regress under what that permit requires, because otherwise we'll be in here reporting things nobody wants to hear about.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, hearing nothing, I'll prompt the question. Thank you for your input, sir. The question's now open and carried. Thank you. 11.2, Community Airport Partnership Agreement, automatic gate. Councillor Cody.
Yes, Your Worship, I will move that the Community Airports Partnership Agreement between the City and the Ministry of Highways for funding 50% of the installation of an automatic gate to a maximum cost of $10,000 be approved, and that the project cost for the automated opener gate number 2 for ambulance be increased to $27,500, which will be funded as follows. $10,000 from the Community Airports Partnership, $15,000 from the Airport Improvement Fund, and $2,500 from the Airport Operations Fence Repair and Maintenance Operating Budget, and that the Mayor and City Clerk be authorized to execute the agreement and any other applicable documents on behalf of the City.
Thank you. Seconder, Councillor Head.
Thank you, Your Worship. I'll second this. And just a quick comment here.
Go ahead.
No, it's great to see this this report and the work that's being done here as a partnership. I'm surprised that we haven't put this fence in previous, because it sounds like it's definitely needed as amount of traffic we have coming out of there. So yeah, definitely supporting this motion and happy to see this partnership.
Yes, and we're moving ahead of the schedule strictly because we've been notified by the health that once the expansion is done to the hospital, the services at the airport will be even more needed because they'll land here instead of going on Saskatoon. So I'm glad we're being proactive and we'll be ready for that opening. So I'll prompt the question. Question's now open. And carried. Thank you. 11.2, Airport Terminal Revised Budget. Councillor Cody.
Yes, I will move this one as well, being I'm on the airport committee. So that the cost of the detailed design of the new airport terminal with Prairie Architecture Incorporated be increased by $854,718 for a total design fee of $1,489,758 to date, including provincial sales tax, and to pay the outstanding invoices. That the remaining 30% detailed design of the new airport terminal with Prairie Architectural Incorporated be placed on hold temporarily until the Airport Advisory Committee has an opportunity to review the design proposal. That the cost increase be funded from the passenger facility fee reserve, and that the Mayor and City Clerk be authorized to execute the necessary documents on behalf of the City. I'll just maybe have a comment after I get a seconder.
Okay. Counselor Edwards?
I'll second that, Mayor Dion.
Thank you. Back to you, Counselor Cody.
Yeah, I just thought we should report that we had quite a long debate over this issue on the last airport committee meeting. It comes as quite a surprise to us, you know, that all of a sudden we are faced with an additional $854,000. And really, there's not a whole lot extra that they've done, other than the fact that we had the inflation. The inflation is really what spiked the costs. And you know, they're always on a percentage basis, these boys, resulting in the fact that when costs go up, they haven't done a whole lot else other than take a 10% of the increase. So we're not quite happy with that. So we're going to take that back with the hope that you approve that and have another good look at it. We want to have a good look in a couple of areas, not only just what the actual costs are, but the design as well. Maybe we have this airport being a little larger than what we thought it should be. And NAV Canada initially said, yes, they wanted to be in our building. Well, then all of a sudden they come along and say, no, we're going to do a separate thing on our own. Well, the architect had to deal with that additional piece of work, and now, of course, they back off. Maybe we should go to the federal government and say, boys, look pay your fair share here, because it's your problem that you backed out, not ours. We were good enough to put you in our building. Now you don't want to be in our building. So as a result, I think we should go after them a little bit too, and see if there's some a bit of help we can get by way of the cost there. So that's kind of what we discussed at the committee.
Thank you. I'll prompt the question. Okay, go ahead, Counselor Head.
Thank you, Your Worship. Just a question, and then thank you, Councillor Cody, for that explanation. I do have one question about the point 2 about going to the advisory committee. Will it be coming back to this body at that point too?
Automatically.
Yeah. And a question about some of the delays, because it is asking to delay. In the report, it says that they could create some complication. I don't expect there to be a massive delay on this detailed design.
No.
Okay.
No.
Thank you.
The committee had a very good discussion. You know, and that's why I'm glad that council sent it back to them. And they're going to assist us in bringing the cost down. Okay. Questions now open. And carried. 11.4, Social Services Bus Pass Program, Letter of Understanding. Councillor Zepp.
That the letter of understanding between the city and the Ministry of Social Services with regards to the discounted bus pass program for 2023-24 be approved, and that the mayor and city clerk be authorized to execute the letter of understanding on behalf of the city.
Thank you. Seconder? Councillor Kilmer?
Thank you. I'll second that.
Thank you. I'll prompt.
I just had discussion.
Go ahead.
Just to note that the report does remind us that for every social services bus pass that we sell in the city, the provincial government provides $25 on that. That's revenue that we keep. We also, as a city right now, charge $25 to those social services recipients that they pay out of pocket to us. And I have always wondered if we were in the future sometime to reduce our charge, something less than $25, would we then have more individuals coming to our to line up to purchase bus passes? Would we actually see an increase in revenue because we get that subsidy from the province? So just an interesting thought as I was reading this, and I'm happy to pass this motion to continue to receive those $25 subsidies, although it probably should be more.
Councillor Cody.
Yeah,
You're next in the queue.
Just one more time, we have to complain. It's unfortunate we have to do this, but, you know, this program's been going on for a long time, and it's been set at $25. Our costs continuously go up. I mean, our bus system is expensive, and I'm more than happy to haul these folks around because let's face it, they're folks that need help. But why is the provincial government not at least keeping up with some portion of inflation? It's been $25 for the last 10 years. Surely, that would never happen to us. We aren't allowed to do things like that, but they always seem to download this. This is a form of downloading on us. No question about it. We're picking up the slack. The $25 that we put in, and the rest is all subsidy. And it's just unfortunate, you know, that I know, and I have to give the administration credit. They did go after them. They did ask for some help and discussion, but to no avail. So it's just unfortunate in my view that we have to constantly take it on the chin from senior governments. I just think it's wrong.
Councillor Kilmer.
Thank you very much. Just further from what Councillor Cody was saying, just to clarify in numbers, my question would be for the probably the manager of transportation or air. Is the subsidy based on the adult passes, which is a $70 per month? So that's a $50 per month, right? So that's 20. And then what percentage of do we recoup in terms of transportation with the bus services? Is it, I think, around 28%, 29%? So I'm not entirely sure.
Good question. You're live.
So just to confirm, the cost recovery for the bus system in general, or just for these passes?
Just in general.
In general, the last year we recouped 28% of our costs, and in a standard year we try to recuperate about 35%.
Okay, and the passes that we are subsidizing, that the government is subsidizing $25 on, that's the $70 adult pass?
Yes, that would actually be for all the passes though. So if a child were to buy a pass, they would still subsidize the $25.
Okay.
So that percentage would be variable depending on the pass sold.
Okay, thank you very much.
So it's per rider. It doesn't stage age or gender, anything. It's just per rider.
No, yeah, it would be per rider.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I'll prompt the question. Question's now open and carried. Thank you. 11.5, police station, substation parking. Councillor Edwards.
Also move that the 5 paid parking meters located behind the Prince Albert Police Service substation on unit block of 10th Street East be removed and designated as police parking only.
Thank you. Seconder, Councillor Miller.
Yes, Mayor Dion, I will second the motion.
Thank you. Councillor Zepp.
Thank you. I noticed in the report that under consultations that the PA Police Service, of course, they listed they were consulted. The Prince Albert Business Improvement District was not listed there as a group consulted. And so that I was interested in what their thoughts were, but also I guess I don't really have an issue with removing parking meters, but to have them just designated that then the public won't be able to use them if they want to walk to businesses or use, you know, the services in Macintosh Mall, et cetera. And so I understand the report. I can see why this ask is happening, but I'm not quite ready to just have a parking specific. Although I don't have any issue with the request to remove the parking meters, but I'm interested to hear what other people have to say as well.
Someone's going to comment? Okay. Councillor Miller.
So from what I understand, they utilize this parking as it is right now, and they have since the station has been built. And so it's just an extra for them to park their vehicles, personal vehicles, and the police vehicles as well behind the station.
Councillor Edwards.
Thank you, Your Worship. So just to make sure it's clear in the report, it says over a 5-year period, these have brought in $593. So contact the downtown bid doesn't seem like it's worthwhile because it's obviously people aren't using these meters to enter businesses. It's very minimal impact. There's a lot of parking downtown, and I support this motion.
Thank you. I see no one else in the queue, so I'm going to prompt the question. Question's now open. And carried. $11.6, concrete supply and installation. Councilor Kilmer.
Thank you. I'll move that the city enter into the third year of the negotiated supply contract for concrete supply and installation with Wheatland Builders and Concrete Limited with the option of one additional year. That administration be authorized to negotiate the 2023 concrete price schedule with Wheatland Builders and Concrete Limited, and that the mayor and city clerk be authorized to execute the contract and any other documentation on behalf of the city.
Thank you. Councilor Head.
Thank you, Your Worship. I'll second that motion.
Thank you. I see no one in the queue, so I'll prompt the question. Question is now open and carried. 11.7, asphalt supply and paving for 2023. Councilor Head.
Thank you, Your Worship. I'll move that the city enter into the third year of the negotiated supply contract for asphalt supply and paving with B&B Construction Group, Inc., with the option of one additional year. 2, that the administration be authorized to negotiate the 2023 asphalt and paving price schedule with B&B Construction Group, Inc. And 3, that the mayor and city clerk be authorized to execute the contract and any other documents on behalf of the city.
Thank you. Seconder.
I'll second that.
Thank you. I see no one in the queue. What happened here, Terry? What did I get next? That's the one I hit for the one before. Just keep going. It carried unanimously, that one, just so you know. Okay, the question's now open. Oh, I know what happened. I know what happened. That's right beneath it. So that's what happened. So we just got on hold it. 11.8, 2023 dust suppression. Councilor Miller.
Thanks, Mayor Dion. That bylaw number 15 of 2023 be introduced and given 3 readings.
Thank you. Seconder. Councilor Edwards.
Seconded.
Thank you. I'll prompt the question. Question's now open and carried. City Clerk, please.
Mayor, we have bylaw number 15 of 2023 to establish the 2023 charge for placing and maintaining a dustless surface or partially dustless surface in streets and lanes. This bylaw is for 3 readings today.
Thank you, Councilor Miller.
That bylaw number 15 of 2023 be introduced and read a first time.
Councilor Edwards.
Second that, Your Worship.
Thank you. I'll prompt the question. Question's now open and carried. Councilor Miller.
That bylaw number 15 of 2023 be read a second time.
Councilor Edwards.
Seconded.
Thank you. I'll prompt the question. Questions now open. Carried unanimously. Councillor Miller.
That leave be granted to read bylaw number 15 of 2023 a third time.
Thank you. Councillor Edwards.
Yeah. I'll second that.
Thank you. This has to be unanimous. I'll prompt the question. Questions now open. Leave's been granted. Councillor Miller.
That bylaw number 15 of 2023 be read a third time and passed, and that bylaw number 15 of 2023 now be adopted, sealed, and signed by the mayor and city clerk.
Thank you. Councillor Edwards.
Seconded.
Thank you. I'll prompt the question. Questions now open. And carried. Thank you. 11.9, Alfred Jenkins Fieldhouse Artificial Turf Replacement. Councillor Edwards.
Also move that the request for proposal number 27 of 2023 for the Alfred Jenkins Field House Artificial Turf be awarded to Field Turf in the amount of $470,694, including provincial sales tax. And 2, that any landfill fees be waived that pertain to the project. 3, that the project be funded through the Alfred Jenkins Fieldhouse Improvement Reserve in support of the artificial turf replacement. 4, that the maintenance equipment for the artificial turf be purchased at a cost of $17,807.82, including taxes, and funded through the Alfred Jenkins Fieldhouse Improvement Reserve. 5, that the mayor and city clerk be authorized to execute any necessary contracts on behalf of the city if required.
Thank you. I have one question for the director. Oh, seconder, sorry. Councillor Cody.
Yeah, I'll second that.
Thank you. Questions? Okay, I have a quick one, then I'll go to you, Councillor Head. To the director, can you stroll up a little, please? What equipment? We operate a artificial field now, so what additional equipment will we need for 17,000 is my question. Go ahead, Director of Community Services.
Thank you, Mayor. It's so it's grooming specific to the product that we'll be purchasing, so it's not the same product that we have right now. The fibers, as you notice right now, that the wear is occurring on, they're actually releasing from the foundation. So when you participate in an activity on that, it is deteriorating to the point where that fiber is coming loose. The new product, you won't see that occur. So what you need for the grooming equipment is more for the cleaning of it. So you clean it, keep it up to standard. That then ensures the longer duration of the product.
Thank you. Councillor Head.
Thank you, Your Worship. Just on that same note, looking at the comparison of the prices, it's considerable, these two companies at $60,000 a piece. I guess, does this piece of equipment come with GTR turf as well? Do we have to buy it regardless of which company we go to? Would be my first question.
Thank you, Councillor Head. So certainly you would need the grooming equipment. Either product would require it. Unfortunately, in the proposal submitted by GTR, it wasn't clear, and we did have several points of contact to follow up with some clarification, not just with their pricing that was submitted and the details behind that, but also the timelines in which they could complete the project. There was a lot of uncertainty there as well, but yes, you would need the grooming equipment regardless of either product.
Okay. And then so were both these bids at the same, because I agree, we absolutely need to replace this turf. I've heard it from residents every time I go there, it needs to be replaced. So I'm in favor of replacing it. But, this company, it is considerable cost. Does this 57 millimeter pile height stitched lines, I guess, as the report says, will that be the same for both companies? Like, are they, because you're highlighting that Field Turf clearly identified information for the request for proposal that met the requirements on warranty, providing stitched lines, and our preference of 57 millimeter pile height. I don't know what that means, but I'm asking because it's in your report. is both companies offering that same kind of service?
No, so the specs were what's noted in the report. The proposal we're recommending includes that, and the one we're not recommending weren't certain and couldn't guarantee that they could provide it as spec'd in the RFP.
And this is what some of the user groups are asking for us as well to purchase?
Absolutely. This is a very, I would say, high-quality product that we're recommending. And you'll also notice the timelines. Previous turf that we're looking to remove had a lifespan of between 8 to 10 years. This one, the warranty starts at 10 years. So you're getting upwards of 15 years, if not longer, if you maintain it properly.
And that goes for, is that just with field turf? Because you're, like, I mean, I'm looking at the scoring and it's pretty comparable. You know, minus a few points separating them, 20 at the end of it. So it is close, but you feel more confident that field turf is the
Yes,
direction to go.
in the long run, we feel the better value is with the recommended product through field turf.
Okay, thanks.
Councillor Miller.
Thank you, Mayor Dion. Also, I was wondering if we could get the agreement supplied to all of council so we can all have a look at the agreement.
Yep.
Thank you.
Which agreement do you mean? The purchase or? Oh,
The agreement between the city and the soccer association.
okay.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll prompt the question. Question's now open and carried. Thank you. 11.10, beautification report. Who wants to let us look beautiful? Councillor Prodnick.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll move that the beautification initiative be approved for the 2023 season, that installation and maintenance agreement between the city and Prince Albert Downtown Business Improvement District be approved, and that the mayor and city clerk be authorized to execute the agreement on behalf of the city.
Thank you. Seconder, Councillor Kilmer.
Thank you. I'll second that.
Thank you. I don't see anyone in the queue, so I will prompt the question. Question is now open and carried. Thank you. 11:11, Grand Slam Ballpark rebuild update. Councillor Edwards.
Also move that the amended Grand Slam Ballpark rebuild sponsorship package be approved, and 2, the Prince Albert Minor Baseball Association be authorized to continue to formalize sponsorship agreements with the following sponsors as part of their Grand Slam Ballpark rebuild campaign. A, Canadian Factory Direct Sunroom, $16,000 in kind. B, Prince Albert Daily Herald, $5,000 over 3 years. C, Madsen Fence, $3,000 in kind. D, Anderson Pump House, $1,500 in kind. That's it, I think.
That's it? Okay. Councillor Ed?
Thank you, Your Worship. I'll second that motion.
Thank you. I don't see anyone in the queue, so I'll prompt the question. Question's now open and carried. Thank you. 11:12, sponsorship agreement for the Alfred Jenkins Fieldhouse and Lakeland Ford Ballpark. Ooh, sorry, Councillor Kilmer.
Thank you. I'll move that the Alfred Jenkins Fieldhouse sponsorship agreement between the city and Anderson Motors Limited in the amount of $3,000 per year for 3 years from June 1st, 2023 to May 31st, 2026 be approved. That the Lakeland Ford Park sponsorship agreement between the city and KS Food Services in the amount of $1,500 per year for 3 years, from June 1st, 2023 to April 30th, 2026 be approved, and that the mayor and city clerk be authorized to execute the agreements on behalf of the city.
Thank you. Seconder? Councillor Head?
Thank you, Worship. I'll second. I just want to know if there's an error.
Go ahead.
Looking at the report to the motion, there might be a discrepancy. Number 2 should end at 2025 according to our report in our iPads. But on here, it's 2026, so just want to make sure if it's accurate.
Go ahead.
I believe that I talked to the marketing and sponsorship coordinator, and he indicated that the year end is typically at the end of December, but because of Lakeland Ford, just because of the type of advertising at that park, wouldn't be advertising throughout the winter typically, but for consistency's sake, putting it just prior to the start of the 2026 season. That's why. So that's prior to the season.
Okay. I still agree with the 25 though, but I guess it's still 4, but they understand it. Okay, I'm going to prompt the question. Question is now open and carried. Thank you. 11.13, assessment consultant services. Councillor Cody.
Yes, Your Worship. I will move that the services to TJ Hubert Professional Services to assist in the implementation of the income approach for commercial assessments for the 2025 revaluation be approved, and that $40,000 be funded from the savings in financial services salaries for 2023, and that the mayor and city clerk be authorized to execute any documents necessary in consultation with the city solicitor on behalf of the city.
Thank you. Councillor Kilmer.
Thank you. I will second that.
Thank you. Comments? I see no one in the queue. So I'll prompt the question. Question's now open. Question, oh, thank you. Carried. 11.14, bylaw 14, zoning bylaw amendment for maximum building height. Councillor Head.
Thank you, Your Worship. I'll move that bylaw number 14 of 2023 be introduced and given first readings. And 2, that administration provide notification to hold a public hearing.
Thank you. Seconder, Councillor Miller.
Yes, I'll second Mayor Dion.
Thank you. I see no discussion in the queue. Questions now open. And carried. Thank you.
Mayor, we have bylaw number 14 of 2023 to amend the zoning bylaw to increase the maximum building height for the hospital use in the I-2 Institutional Medical Service Zoning District to allow for an addition to the existing hospital. This bylaw is for first reading today.
Thank you. Someone to move the bylaw? Councillor Head.
Thank you, Worship. I'll move that bylaw number 14 of 2023 be introduced and read a first time.
Thank you. Seconder.
I'll second Mayor Dion.
Thank you. I'll prompt the question. Questions now open. And carried. Thank you. 11.15, land sale, offer to purchase 129 23rd Street West. Councillor Head.
Thank you, Your Worship. I'm going to move that the offer to purchase from Carly Frank for 129 23rd Street West in the amount of $30,000 be approved. And two, that the mayor and city clerk be authorized to execute the sale and development agreement on behalf of the city.
Thank you. Seconder.
Thank
Councillor
you.
Kilmer.
Oh, sorry, I will second that, but I have a question.
Go ahead.
Thank you. It's for the director. I see that there is maintenance and insurance, and that there is past taxes for the city, but also for the public and separate school divisions on there. My question is there a percentage for the maintenance and insurance that we carried taken off for the city and out of the taxes that are given back to the school boards?
Go ahead, Director.
Yeah, thank you for the question, Councillor Kilmer. The breakdown provided, all of that money will come back to the city as a property sale. The maintenance, that number fluctuates based on whether we need to board up windows or cut the lawns and things like that. But for this $30,000, that'll be revenue for the city.
So none of the taxes going back will go to the school boards, the returning, any of the money from the sale does not go to the school boards?
I believe that is correct.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll prompt the question. Oh. Stand by.
I can ask it later.
No, go ahead, Councillor Edwards.
Thank you, Your Worship. I'm not sure if this is the time to ask it or not, but I'm going to ask it. So if we don't recover all of the back taxes on a property sale, is there an option that we could increase the property taxes of the sale by $100 or $200 a year to try and recuperate some of those losses, and the initial purchase price is lower? I'm not saying that particularly in this case. By all means, that's a question in general.
Oh, so I understand your question before I take it to the director. So you're asking future purchasers to pay for the loss?
Partially.
Okay. Thank you. Go ahead, Director.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Councillor Edwards. I'll be giving a very high-level discussion, and perhaps this is something that we'll have to take back and discuss with our financial and our city solicitor team. What I will say is that our tax enforcement process is a fairly rigid process as established in the Act, and there are certain requirements that we need to oblige by within a certain time period. After you own the property for a year, there is a little bit more flexibility provided. But next to that, like I said, I'll have to report back with some further clear details for you.
Yeah, so just to be clear, if a person bought it for under of what we have lost in taxes, that we add a little bit extra to their property taxes. That's just the question. I know it's difficult to answer right now. It was just a thought. Thank you.
Yeah, I believe the short answer, just a quick referral to our solicitor, short answer is no, we're not able to do that.
Okay, thank you.
Quick answer. Okay, did we vote? Okay, no, oh yeah, I had it up, but then I took it down. Okay, I'll prompt the question. Questions now open. Carried. $11.16, bylaw officer appointment. Go ahead, Councillor Head.
Thank you, Your Worship. Very, very happy to put this motion forward today. So I'm going to move that Marlon Ahenakew and Trina Wareham be appointed as bylaw enforcement officers for the City of Prince Albert pursuant to Section 337 of the Cities Act.
Thank you. Seconder. Thank you.
I'll second, Your Worship.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Questions now open. And carried. Thank you. 11.17, City Manager's Contract. Councillor Cody.
Yes, this is a very, very good recommendation, and I very much agree. And will move that Sherry Person be appointed as city manager for the city of Prince Albert for a 5-year term effective June 1st, 2023, and that the mayor and city clerk be authorized to execute the employment contract on behalf of the city.
Thank you. Seconder. Councillor Edwards.
I'll second that, your worship.
Thank you. Councillor Cody.
Yeah, I think this is a very, very good appointment we're making here tonight, and I think Sherry will do a good job for the next 5 years. She's already, I think, shown herself to be a pretty tough manager and does some things that I think have improved the place. And I think she works well with the crew that's around her, and we've got a good administrative crew, I can tell you. They're all bright, young, and energetic, and I think she can work well with them. And I think she does it with great class, and I think we have got ourselves something that we can all be proud of for the city of Prince Albert. And I congratulate you very much, Sherry.
Thank you. And I echo those comments. Okay, I'll prompt the question. Questions now open. And it carries unanimously. Thank you very much. Okay, we're moving. Now I've got her. Okay. Number 13, Mayor and Councilors Forum. Nope. Miss Community Cleanup. Oh, I want to give her. That's weird. Stop. Yeah. Oh, there. I got Charlene all by herself. There we go. And everyone else has to hit their button. They got canceled. So I had 4 or 5 on there and only got Charlene. So go ahead, Charlene.
Yes, Councillor Miller's here. And our community cleanup for the city went very well. And I would just like to thank all the volunteers, and especially the 3 who came out full force, for sure, Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. We had baby Estelle with me, and she was 3, and Rip, 23 months, and Reggie, who was 5.
Oh.
They all had a great time. And I'd also like to thank Silkins for the slushes for the kids, all the kids who participated in the schools, which were Westmore High, Westview, and St. Michael's, and Queen Mary, of course. And chili was made for the kids as well from the West Flat Center, Métis Women, and myself. We all pitched in together and made chili. The kids did a fabulous job on the streets, and the city workers as well. As soon as we were done 15th Street, there came the street sweepers. It was wonderful.
Oh,
and
good.
then we did 13th, and there they were again the next morning. So applaud the sanitation people too as well. The workers did a fabulous job. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, for the people that were involved in community cleanup, if you'd like to give me those names, I'll have the mayor's office send a letter of thank you on behalf of all of council, that we appreciate their community support and helping our community keep beautiful. And sometimes that's they appreciate even just that little acknowledgement. Councillor Cody. Yes,
One thing for sure, and maybe another, but the main thing that I have to say is that I had a big happy birthday to Edward Laird.
Yes.
A veteran of ours for his 100th birthday. We celebrated it at the Historical Society, and the place was absolutely packed, jammed with people. I couldn't believe it. And Ed Laird's sign, where he's going to have a park named after him, was up, and it looks fantastic. It is a beautiful, big sign, and there was a couple of poppies on it as well, and a veteran type person. So it was a tremendous thing. Also, just on another note, as you know, I work at a cemetery, and resulting in the fact that we always have ducks come every year, and we just want to invite all of the young folks that have an opportunity to come on June the 20th. We have what's called a duck launch, and it's where we have hot dogs, we have cake, all decorated with ducks and what have you, and it's quite an event. And this year we took the opportunity to have the media out, and we were at St. Michael's School, which is a very, very fine-looking school, and the young kids were just pleased as punch to see the ducks, and it was quite an event. So invite all of you people, particularly you folks here with young children. You can come out, and if you have someone that's a senior, bring them out as well, because we like to have anyone and everyone out there. Personally, I won't be there this year, but nevertheless, we will have people there greeting you.
Thank you. Councillor Zepp.
Thank you. I just wanted to also thank all volunteers with the community cleanup. There were a lot of volunteers across the city that really took pride in helping to clean up, pitching in, picking up litter, and also getting those, getting their yards cleaned up and using our landfill transfer stations well. But I especially wanted to thank Councillor Miller for being such a good role model to me. And it's a lot of work that she puts on to make it a real serious event. And the citizens really appreciated it, and they, people want to have that motivation to clean up the yard and clean up the house. And I saw at our location how well used it was and how positive it was for our community. And lastly, I'm just so pleased that right now it has been in our budget through City Council. So we as a council have passed that through budget to support that work throughout the city. And to me, I think that's really important. Thank you.
Welcome. Councillor Kilmer.
Thank you very much. I too want to thank all the volunteers. The Kinsman site was very busy and great volunteers. I really appreciate the people that came early in the morning, including the city sanitation workers, but also the volunteers that came early in the morning to help clean up from a little bit of mess left from the night before. But it was a fantastic event. So many people from the city really thanked us for what we provided them. They came several times with their very little cars or some carts and hauling things from near and far. So it was a very successful event. Once you hear the amount of trash, I'm sure we're going to be shocked by the amount. And there was only one tire. So very, very good. Very well done, Prince Albert residents. I also want to let everyone know that Lakeland Basketball Group had put on their tournament this weekend. So again, we had our city full of people playing basketball, and many teams from outside taking part in our facilities as well. If you just drove around on the weekend, the fields were full. Baseball fields, soccer fields, football fields, lacrosse. Our city is super active, and I just want to say thank you to community services workers who have made that very possible, and all the coaches who also take time out of their day. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'm just going to butt in here to talk about the community cleanup, and then I'll go to Councillor Edwards, Councillor Brodnick, come back to Councillor Zepp. And the Lions Club actually did this, and so they sparked the idea for next year. while you guys were there, they went and cleaned up Lions Park and invited me out and gave me the idea that next year my office, in coordination with the community cleanup, is going to write all the community clubs where they have a park named after them. Get the Kinsman Club to come and clean Kinsman Park. Get the Lions Club, the High Noon Optimist. When you look around, we have lots of service clubs with their names on the, and I'm quite sure they're more than willing to do it. Nobody suggested it to them. So I want to thank the Lions Club. They were out there in full force and really cleaned up their park. So thank you for them. And for service club members next year, look out. You'll be getting a letter asking you to participate and to be proud of your park and to clean it up. So sometimes you get side effects from positive things that you do. Okay, Councillor Edwards.
Thanks, Mayor Dion. I had the privilege, along with other councillors and our mayor, to attend the luncheon for Paul Martin.
Yes.
He was brought in as a guest speaker. Several administration were there. What a wonderful event. And he spoke highly of our city and the 5.1% growth that we've had. And also doesn't think it's out of the question that we could double that over the next few years. And that's real positive thinking. He spoke about all the careers that are coming to the city with the new hospital that's being built and the OSB, amongst other projects. The city future looks very bright. He also spoke about the need for infrastructure and spoke highly about the aquatic center and the rinks that were being built or that are being built, and that people, in order to want to move to the city, need these structures built. They want new structures. They want entertainment. And we approved the aquatic center and the new rinks to be built, and now the entire yard with all the new businesses that are coming in and the added investment into our city. It's very impressive, and he touched base on all of those points. And I just want to thank him for coming in, speaking highly of our city, and we're looking pretty promising. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Brodnick.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I too want to thank the volunteers that helped with the Crescent Heights community cleanup. We were limited. We didn't run as long hours as the other two locations because of conflict in the parking lot. We didn't have access to the parking lot all the time that I thought we were going to have. And so as a result, we weren't able to run the cleanup as long as I wanted to. And I did hear a few people complain that we had to shut down on Saturday at 10 o'clock. But I do want to thank the volunteers for helping out with that this week. So thank you.
Thank you. Back to Councillor Zepp.
Thank you. I just wanted to mention we did hear the proclamation today for PA Pride Week coming up, May 28th until June 4th. But I have to mention a really fun event, which is PA Pride Parade. And that is scheduled for June 3rd, and it's all inclusive. Lots of families, lots of people come out, and really it's a highlight. And so after the parade, there is Pride in the Park, which is in our lovely Kinsman Park, and they do different children's activities that adults and seniors really enjoy. So I just wanted to make citizens aware. June 3rd will be PA Pride Parade.
Time?
Time isn't listed yet.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'll move on. I see no one else in the queue to number 14, inquiries. Councillor Brodnick.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I do have an inquiry. It's to planning. That last July 18th, 2022, we passed a motion that we received correspondence from the PAD bid for a request to implement downtown municipal business tax incentives. And the motion was that correspondence be received and referred to the planning services department. And I was just wondering what's happening with that proposal that PAD bid submitted to us. We did refer it back to your department. I was just wondering where is it at this particular point?
Director of Planning.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Councillor Ogrodnik, for the question. Yes, we have corresponded with PadBid. We've had a few exchanges back and forth, and they've made some suggested incentive programs to us, and we've revised them. We've actually spoken to the pad bid on a couple of occasions on what those might look like. The kind of nuance is that our taxation structure moving forward is subject to change. I'm certainly not the person to speak to that, but what they've asked for is more information on what that might look like. So I'll be working closely with our city assessor and providing them with that information, and they are well aware of that and have actually requested that prior to going to city council.
Okay, so we're going to receive some
Yes, you are.
report
Yeah.
back?
Yeah.
Okay, and do you know when approximately we'll receive this report? Because it's 10 months already, and we have from the initial proposal, and so we haven't received anything yet. So I'm just wondering how long it'll take.
No, thank you for the question. There was a gap in there as well with no pad bid director, which certainly added to that timeline, but I would say that certainly prior to, I don't want to put words in the mouths of our pad bid executive or council, but I think over the next couple of months would be realistic to get something to you.
So there was no pad bid director, you said? During
Yes.
this particular, from July of last year till now?
Well, I don't want to misspeak. Yeah, I don't want to misspeak.
Yeah, I know, I think there has been a pad bid director.
perhaps that's the case,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, okay, thank you.
Okay. No one else for inquiries? All right. Number 15, inquiry responses. Well, there is none. Holy, we're moving right along. Right along. Notice of motions? Councillor Edwards?
I have one, your worship, that administration prepare a report on adding flashing crosswalk lights at the intersection of 15th Avenue East and Marquis Road, and that this be considered in the 2024 budget. Thanks.
Are you talking on the turn? Oh. Okay. Okay. Okay, I'm moving on to motions, and I'm going to pass the chair to Councillor Miller. And I move that we table this till the next council meeting. I'm missing one important part of the report. So I move to table it till the next, postpone it, sorry, till the next council meeting.
Thank you. And can I get a seconder for that, please? Thank you, Councillor Cody. All those in favor, or we're going to go to the vote.
Okay. Are you putting a new one on? Do you use the old one? Use the old one? Okay, the vote's now open. And carried.
You can have the chair back, Mayor.
Thank you. Public forum, there is none. Councillor Kilmer,
Thank you. I move this council do now adjourn.
seconder. Thank you. All in favor? Motion carries. Okay, thank you. Good meeting.